Hi. So the fact that I have totally dropped the ball and not been on here for at least a couple of weeks is really indicative of exactly why I'm doing this run through of my book as a new mom. Because it's just been so challenging for me to find space to reintegrate myself with the practices that really fill my cup and make me feel amazing and make me the best mom and the best person and who I kind of want to be in the world. And just as an example, I made a chart about a week ago for myself, just kind of listing out these are some really basic self-care things I want to be doing, and then the days of the week on the top. And so that sat on the floor for an entire week. And I haven't used that at all. I need to figure out how to rehook up the printer because I want to make copies of it. But I'm really noticing that anything that has more than like one or two steps to it just doesn't get done because I don't have the time and sometimes the energy to really devote myself to all the detail stuff. So that's one thing I'm noticing. So today's video would be going into the content of the book, starting with action 1, which is meditation, which I'm really, really excited to do, primarily because I need it so darn bad. And I mentioned before, I believe that I've noticed that having been out of the practice of meditation, having been someone who has meditated regularly for years and then gotten completely out of the practice of it, it's such a practice. It's at least something for me that I really need to practice on a daily basis, because what I'm noticing is that my mind is very much like in control. At this point, it's takes a lot for me to really keep reminding myself, come back here, come back here. And I definitely have a lot of practice doing that in my daily life, which I'm so grateful for with Vivi. Like, if you have a little one, it's possible. It's not impossible to not be present. You certainly can go on autopilot, but it's definitely something that reminds me to stay present during the day, because I don't want to miss out on Vivi, and I want to really like be there when she looks into my eyes, and I want her to remember her mom being alive, or not remember, but just experience, her mom being in an alive interaction with her. And I notice that that's either there or it isn't. Sometimes I can be looking at her and then kind of to really tune in and become present and go, oh my gosh, I was kind of like looking at her, but somewhere else in my brain. So that's actually something that Darren Brown, who is an illusionist, if you haven't seen him, check out his videos. Kyle introduced me to him and he's amazing. But he kind of explains how he does the things he does. And one of the things he explains is that if you ask someone a question that they have to kind of look inward to answer, then they're not paying attention outside. So anything that draws your attention inward, you're going to miss what's going on outside, so much so that he can take your watch or your wallet or whatever. And obviously he's skilled at and practiced at doing that. But the point is that anytime we're really focused on our thoughts, then or actually emotions too, and hanging on to them rather than just allowing them to pass through. Jill Bolte Taylor, who wrote My Stroke of Genius, and I'm rereading that right now, and it's such an amazing reminder about presence, and that the tendency to not be present is very much like biologically based. So it kind of, for me at least, takes the pressure and the blame and the like, I should be better at this, totally out of it. And really it's just a practice of kind of rewiring what your neurological pathways are doing. Um, but she says that if you have an emotion, if you just allow it to go through you, it's there for 90 seconds and then it's gone. And if you're feeling that emotion for longer than that, it's because in some way you're choosing to hold on to that. You're choosing to prolong it, and you can prolong something for an entire lifetime, or you can allow it to pass through, really feel it in 90 seconds. And that is something that I find invaluable about meditation, because that is a place where I can sit with whatever comes up and give it all the time and space in the world to be felt and seen and heard and allowed to just release and pass through. And I find that sometimes I am having to focus on Vivi or something that's going on immediately in my world at the moment, and that I'm not really able to just kind of sit and, allow that to happen. I think all the time we have that option to, no matter what's going on, just be with ourselves as that emotion goes through. But I find it really, really helpful to clear out stuff that hasn't been cleared, that's been maybe sitting there for a while, that I've repressed. I haven't even realized I've repressed it, or just old stuff that wants to come out and be released in meditation. So that is a massive value that I find in meditation, and one that I'm really looking forward to experiencing again on a regular basis. Okay, there's something I wanted to talk about today too, and that is, how do you find time to meditate as a new mom? And I think really there are only a couple of answers to that. Well, two categories of answers to that. So one is that you live in a meditative state, right? That you are present in your body, that you feel the energy in your body all the time. And some people, I think, are more practiced at that. Some people had an upbringing that predisposes them to be more in contact with themselves. I don't tend to be one of those people. If I'm not practicing it, I go to a default of not being aware of myself. And that's just me. So for me, having meditative practice is really essential for remembering, like dismembering, the opposite of dismembering, remembering what that is to be in my body and to be present and aware and experiencing my life like that. Essential. Other people, maybe not so much. Sometimes in my life, it's more essential to me to meditate than others, because a lot of times there's a lot more calm in my life previously than now. And I did find it easier to live more in a meditative state. So that's one thing. Do everything you do as a meditation, as much as you're aware to do. Do the dishes is kind of a famous one, right? Everything is a meditation if you allow yourself to be present in that moment and focus on what's going on. And when you find your mind wandering, just bring it back to here. Here. There's nothing in my mind that is useful for me unless it's being used as a tool. But I find mostly it uses me and is not very helpful, and is in fact very detrimental to me if I'm just kind of allowing that to run. So living in a meditative state. And I think you can do a combo of these, right? And then two, just really having some quiet time to meditate and sit, do like a sitting meditation. There's also walking meditation, but just having quiet and space to yourself to do that. So there's living meditatively. Yes, that's what we want to be doing, yeah? And then also the second way is actually finding some quiet time to meditate yourself. And that is the one that I think is really challenging to a lot of us as new moms. Even if we have resources to, have a nanny or a lot of us don't want to miss out on what's going on and have some resistance to doing that. But I think it is essential, and I don't want to sugarcoat it and say that it isn't essential. At least for me, it's very essential to have that practice, and I haven't had it, and it's really taken a toll on me. And I'm just not kind of in my highest alignment consistently if I do not have some quiet time to meditate. So on that, sorry, I don't want to flip you off. On that second, fork. Really, if you're a mom and you want quiet time to meditate, there are a couple of options there. You can do it while the baby's asleep, or you can have someone watch your baby for you. Is there anything else? I don't know. I can't come up with anything. I think that's kind of the reality of it. And for me as a new mom, my baby is 18 months old yesterday, and I still find myself a lot of times trying to make up sleep during the day. So if I have someone there to watch the baby, often I have a list of things right before meditation. And oftentimes that's sleep. But making meditation a priority is really important to me right now. So putting that list aside and just knowing that I'm going to take that time and do it because it's essential for me is, I think, a very important first step, at least for me, and maybe it will be for you too. So I do now have consistently at least a couple of hours a day, most days, that I can choose what to do with my time, that I can have silence if I want to, that I can have music if I want to, that I can sit, I can do what I need to do for a couple hours a day, which is massive. So that in that time, I'm going to exercise, I'm going to rest. I need to rest in whatever modality that shows up. And I'm going to meditate. And that's not in order because meditate actually is going to be first. So I would like to invite you also, if you do not have a current meditative practice, to join me in this week finding time for yourself to do that. And maybe it's the same time every day. Maybe you have a predictable childcare situation. Maybe your baby goes to sleep at a certain time and that's the best time for you to do that. Often I find when Vivi goes to sleep, that's the only time that Kyle and I have together. So often I want to spend that time relaxing with him and reconnecting with him. So for me to find this time where essentially I know this is for me, this is for all of us, for me to meditate, and that I'm actually going to commit to doing that is huge. So I invite you to do that with me if you can work that out for yourself. And if you don't have any time during the day, and I know that for me, sometimes that was just the case. There was zero time that I had a quiet 20 minutes to myself, let alone 20 minutes twice a day, which I feel is ideal for meditation and where you start getting a lot of health benefits, physical benefits from it. Anything is better than nothing. And I invite you to find at least one 20-minute period a day. If you can find two, one at the beginning, one at the end of the day, marvelous. I congratulate you. Use it because you'll be a better mom. You'll be a better partner. You'll be a better friend. All of that, right? Obviousness. You'll just feel better. So I know how much I need that. I know how much Kyle needs that from me. I know how much Vivi needs that from me. So I am going to be doing that this week. And today will be, let's see, so this is week 3, video 3, if we're going to go time-wise. And I apologize for dropping the ball and not being consistent with these videos. And to me, it's just, it's a symptom of how badly I need this and why I haven't been doing these practices, because it really takes a lot of intention and some planning, and there are a lot of moving pieces for me to get 20 minutes to myself. And that may be true for you as well. So I'm excited to be back on here. Today in real time is Tuesday, so I will put up 2 more videos this week. And gosh, enjoy yourself and enjoy your time and enjoy finding a time to really just sit with yourself and meditate and make that such a simple thing. Read that first action in my book. If you have questions or comments, feel free to write to me on my website, Christy.Harden. Sorry, it's Christy Harden here's my email, Christy.Harden@gmail.com, or you can just go through my website if you don't remember that. It's just ChristyHarden.com. Or you can do comments on here. I'm not fantastic at checking all those things yet, but I'm really going to be working in consistency with that as well, because it's a lot of fun for me. I love actually engaging with people who are doing the same work and in the same practice. So I will be doing more of that. So I promise you 2 more videos this week, and we'll see how it goes. And peace and joy and love, and enjoy your quiet time however you find that to be. Very simple. Just sit, eyes closed, watch your thoughts come up. Notice that you're the watcher. Just continue to sit back down as the watcher and watch, and allow emotions to come up and go through you. There's a lot of detail in my book about how I personally do this. You may have your own practice, or like to do it different, or do like a recorded, I'm blanking on the name, like a recorded meditation, anything you want to do, but I encourage you to take the time to do that, and then I'll check in with you a couple times this week and we'll move forward. So peace and love. See you soon.